Good day, everyone. I am Marco de Meduranda, Education Program Supervisor in the Schools Division Office, Navotas City. I'm pleased to present to you the assigned presentation to me, which is Quality Assurance in Basic Education. I would like to first again greet Dr. Filona and the rest of my classmates in ED 802. So here's the overview of my presentation. I'll first present the context where I'm coming from at the Schools Division Office of Navotas, working as an education program supervisor. Then I'll share to you our quality assurance practices in basic education, especially on the areas of learning resources, monitoring of distance learning, assessment of learning outcomes, and learning and development activities. So SDO Navotas is a medium-sized division located at the northwestern part of the National Capital Region. So for the school year 2021-2022, we have 50,198 learners. Currently, we also have 1,660 teaching personnel and 204 non-teaching personnel that's manning our 24 public elementary and the secondary schools. But we also have private schools in the city. In the previous year, no, we are able to uh, ensure that our dropout and repetition rate is at the zero level. So this is an achievement in our division. Now, in terms to the area of learning resources, which is our topmost priority in distance learning because it is very important in order to operationalize the basic education learning continuity program. So across grade levels and across key stages, we were able to identify the number of SLMs that we need to produce, or the self-learning modules. And for K to 3, we are using quality assured locally developed SLMs, digitized and printed, 50 pages. And we're also using and other succeeding key stages materials that are developed at the central office and the regional office. But STO Navotas is also um, using online learning resources that are stored in our division learning resource portal and other cloud-based learning management systems like Google Drive or for electronic portfolio or Messenger Classroom and private FB group as social learning units that our schools are using. These learning resources, especially the tangible ones, are um, stored in what we call as the Navo School in a Box, which is our form of learning package that we give to all our learners across all learning areas and even in learners in the alternative learning system, special education, madrasa, and alive. Now, in terms of the quality assurance of learning resources, we have Project Assist. This is developed by our LR education supervisor, and and all learning area supervisors are also adopting and supporting. We have this project assist or activity sheets development in support to instruction for students and teachers. And for the this project, no, there is a well defined process for our module development, beginning from the planning phase to development phase. But we are very much focusing also on the quality assurance process, no, wherein each learning area supervisor organize a quality assurance team in coordination with again the subject area supervisors, and we use no the standards and quality assurance tools of the Bureau of Learning Resources. We have well-defined timeline so that we'll be able to deliver the much-needed learning resources on time for our learners. And actually, we are able to do quality assurance of these learning resources and ensuring that the materials are ready a month now before the actual distribution of the self-learning modules in our 24 public elementary and secondary schools. And yes, that's because there is a well-defined timeline. But in terms of the quality assurance of modules, we also have the learning error notification system. If in case that there are still problems with the material, that after school and the division quality assurance, we encourage our parents and even our stakeholders, if they find certain errors, to report it on our email address, FB page, on our cell phone, and our telephone numbers. Because sometimes we cannot expect perfection in time of pandemic, but we acknowledge, no, and we rectify immediately any errors, no, that will be brought to our attention. But so far, the only complaints, no, in our modules or any errors that were spotted are just the nature of the activities. No, parents are commenting that some activities are not home based, but we were able to modify that and tweak that for this school year 2021-2022. But this process is still in place for the quality assurance of our learning resources. When it comes to the monitoring of distance learning, we have two projects. First is on the remote instructional supervision. We intensify our division star patrol or division school-based technical assistance for raters. So we are like hitting two birds with one stone here. We are providing technical assistance, but at the same time, we are intensifying quality assurance in instructional supervisory practices of our school-based raters, who are the principal and the master teachers, the assistant principal, and the head teachers. And then another activity that we're doing is the community-based monitoring of distance learning classes, which later I'll be giving you details on the processes and procedure. So here's our Division Star Patrol project. This is actually launched in 2019, pre-pandemic, but we were able to tweak the protocols and adjust it to remote instructional supervision process. So again, the primary purpose is to intensify technical assistance to raters in the operationalization of the RPMS PPSD protocols. But this is also our way of quality assuring the process or the way how our principals are implementing RPMS PPSD protocols in terms of instructional supervision to improve the quality of the teaching and learning process. So we have established tools and systems for our Star Patrol protocol, and we ensure that our school-based raters, no, follow the pre-observation, observation proper, inter-rater deliberation, and post-observation. And then we provide technical assistance, no, when it comes to clinical supervision and with proper coaching and mentoring for our teachers. So here is an example, a screenshot of the conduct of the Star Patrol during distance learning classes. And we use teleconferencing, and in this process now, we put premium on the pre-observation part, because that's when we ensure success of our teachers in the process of teaching. Okay, in the observation proper. Notice that this we also check if the synchronous sessions are being used for regular kumustahan, providing support and psychosocial and mental health support for our learners. And we have established processes before, during, and after the distance learning cycle, and we supervisors check if these protocols are followed by division by the school-based supervisors, which are the school head, assistant principals, and the department heads, as well as the master teacher. And then we were able to institutionalize this project in our school because we were able to create a Star Patrol implementation guide. And for the new normal, no, we leverage on the power of technology to regularly do quality assurance of distance learning classes through the recalibration of our protocols suiting the new normal landscape of education, no? From the pre-observation, observation proper, inter-rater deliberation, post-observation, and the provision of technical assistance. I would like to present to you this SDO Navotas Learning Continuity Program Sustainability Frame. And as you can see here, very clear the part of the mandate of the Curriculum Implementation Division is the assuring quality of distance learning. So we really do not compromise quality in this, even if this high trying or difficult times of distance learning. We strive not to ensure quality delivery of basic education. And so we have the community-based monitoring of distance learning classes. This is the physical, no? The supervisors really go to the community to check, no, what's really happening at the household level in terms of distance learning. And the primary intent of this activities to determine the level of engagement between and among the actors in distance learning, such as learners, teachers, parents, guardians, learning support agents, and instructional leaders. So we really check and we really find out, and whenever there are some gaps that we identified, we immediately convene with the principal and the head teacher or the master teacher so that they'll be able to address the gaps, no, or the challenges that we were able to see on the ground. So we, of course, we follow health and safety protocols. Now, whenever we do this community-based monitoring of distance learning, and so far we know we were able to implement this last school year. We have 4 activities that we went to the community, and actually this coming November and December. For school year 2021-2022, we will be also visiting communities and checking households, checking learners, what are the gaps, no, and what are also the success stories of distance learning in SDO Navotas. And we have established protocols, beginning from the announcement of the conduct of community-based monitoring and getting permission also to the city mayor for the conduct of this activity. And then as we pay courtesy visit to the barangay chairperson, so we will be assisted in our identified locality, and we do interview, okay, and validation of learning. We sometimes I also ask learners to read those so that I can determine if they are being supported in reading, no, even in distance learning. And here are some initial outcomes of the community-based monitoring of distance learning. So we were able to identify facilitating factor and impeding factors in distance learning that serve as very good inputs, no, for the continuous improvement of our processes in the implementation of our learning continuity program. Now, when it comes to the assessment of learning outcomes, our SDO Navotas has a well-defined SDO contextualized assessment frame. And as you can see here, validation of learning is done in the internal assessment and also the external assessment. The internal assessment happens at the school and at the division level. And you can see here that the internal assessment has 3 phases, no? The pre-assessment, assessment proper, and post-assessment. In the pre-assessment, the major intent is to recognize entry-level knowledge or the prior learning of the student so that we'll be able to do some sort of profiling in terms of least mastered skills and the proper assessment intervention to be given, and as well as identification of the learner's context, if they belong to high-tech, low-tech, or no-tech households, no, so that relevant assessment strategies are given to them. And then on the assessment proper, you will see a variety of assessment strategies aligned with the PED Order 31 series of 2020, or the interim guidelines in the assessment of grading. So we have formative assessment, summative assessment through integrative assessment, teacher with individualized assessment, participatory assessment, PISA-based assessment, and then remediation and intervention, no, as a way after knowing the result of this formative and developmental assessment. And then in the post-assessment, again, we look into and check if they are really acquiring and attaining the most essential learning competencies through our post-assessment, given in a semestral way, because we want to foster academic ease as well, and that will serve as input for our program evaluation. And as you can see, feedback loop happens in all the phases, so that we immediately adjust or tweak, no, assessment strategies if, in all of these internal assessment phases. And then our region, no, our regional office, the DepEd National Capital Region, also has its exit assessment through Project LAMP, or the learning assurance through monitoring and progress. So learners, no, are also asked to take the assessment, no, every semester. There is this midterm, and then there's this exit assessment to see what's the learning gaps, the learning gains, or learning losses in distance learning. So far, now our figures are encouraging because our learners are performing well in the exit assessment, now conducted by the region. And also, in terms of the development of our assessment tools, since we are coming from an ISO certified organization, we have well-established systems and protocols in the from the checking, interpretation, okay, of the development of the assessment tools, no, even in the reviewing of test items and the organization of the test items. So our division is very committed to quality, as evident of our certification, recertification, no, because the last time, no, last year we were able to pass the first surveillance audit with 0 non-conformance. So this means that our systems and processes are in place and of quality. And recently, in terms of quality assurance in learning and development activities, we were able to pass the accreditation of the Prime HRM of the Civil Service Commission. Prime stands for Program to Institutionalize Meritocracy and Excellence in Human Resource Management. And one of the pillars that receive 100% rating is the learning and development, because we were able to prove to the accreditors that we have quality assurance mechanisms embedded in our monitoring and evaluation processes, like the use of L&D evaluation tools to determine if our learning and development activities really trickle down to change in behavior or increase in knowledge, skills, and attitudes of our teachers, non-teaching and teaching-related personnel. So we use tools to quality assure every session of our learning and development activities, like this one on Google Forms. Okay, and we have another tool on the wherein we examine, no, how our learning and development activities were able to achieve its stated terminal and enabling objectives. Okay, and we even conduct impact evaluation report of our long-term learning and development activities, like the school-based technical assistance coordinators, because every year we provide intensive training on instructional supervision, coaching, and mentoring, so that we'll be able to see the change in the knowledge, skills, and attitudes when it comes to quality instructional supervisory process. So here's the example of our impact evaluation report, and we're able to establish in this report that our learning and development activities especially those that are 3 years and above, know that continuing projects are really effective and really meaningful to the attainment of our organizational objectives as well. Okay, and we have again ISO certified processes in the quality assurance and monitoring and evaluation of processes. Okay, and we even do some sort of systems review so that we are able to facilitate continuous improvement of our processes uh, towards assuring quality in the delivery of basic education services. So that's my presentation in quality assurance practices in basic education. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.